Okay, here's the deal. You may be wondering, why are all of these other people getting these promotions, these stellar opportunities, when I'm working just as hard, if not harder, and all of these great projects are going to them? Well, it may not be an ability problem, it may be a visibility problem. So I want to talk about that today, because I think if you're looking for a strategy to boost your career in 2021, this is it: creating a visibility strategy. Carla Harris, who is one of my favorite influencers, who wrote the book Strategize to Win and Expect to Win. She wrote 2 books. She says that many of the decisions about your career are made when you're not in the room. And I think that's really profound, because if you think about it, the higher ups who get the information that's pivotal to the organization first. So maybe there's a merger or acquisition, new products, a new client coming on board. They're thinking about the talent they want for that particular project or that particular situation. And you may be a stellar employee, but if they don't know about you or they don't know about your capabilities, then they may overlook you for those juicy roles. So this is what you should do. I have two specific things you could do to help your visibility. There are many, many more, but I think you can start here. First and foremost, if you don't have a role like sales or billable hours where you're getting measured in a specific way and that information is kind of going up the chain, then create that dashboard or scorecard for yourself. Look at what you're doing and the most important tasks and make them measurable. So quantify them. Maybe it's the number of clients you've reached out to. Maybe it's the number of forms you processed or questions you resolved. Whatever the core of your job is, you can measure it. And I think if you create that visual for yourself and then share it with your manager and your team, maybe at staff meetings, then people will get accustomed to what you're doing and start to see this pattern. And I think this is especially important as more of us are working in a virtual environment where some of the stuff that we usually do isn't as visible to people naturally. Something else, and this is my favorite one, is to recognize others in team meetings and staff meetings. So you probably have regular updates or group updates where you can call out somebody for something great they did. Maybe there's a team that was working late hours and you just want to say, hey, I just want to recognize the finance team. They've been working really late, and kudos to you guys. Or maybe there's another team that has an accomplishment, because once you do this, you start to create this culture of congratulating one another and bringing out those accomplishments on the table. So it's a win-win for you and your team to do that. Certainly, there's a lot of other things you can do. You can get involved in some cross-departmental projects so that others who don't normally work with you can start to see you as a stellar performer. You can certainly, one of my favorites too is if somebody helps me out from a different department, I make sure I email their manager and just say, hey, I want to just let you know that your teammate really helped me out and help me solve this problem. So there's other things you can do to really build your visibility. And this is internally. Of course, there's lots you can do to build your visibility online and social media too. But in terms of 2021, we all need to be developing our career. And I think one of the places that we all need to focus on is not just doing great and stellar work. Of course, that's important, but making sure that the decision makers know about it, because the market is changing. The skills in the workplace that are needed are constantly changing, and chances are your role and your organization is going to shift and morph as well. So the more people who know what you're capable of and who have heard of you and recognize that you're a trustworthy and responsible employee, the more opportunities you're going to get.